here we are in the potting shed with Kahoa and Ellen. And Kahoa's over there busily working on transferring some of the orchids that came from the orchid farm into new containers, getting rid of the moss and the junk on them. Kahoa has chosen an orchid, I believe, what do we got there, an Oncidium maybe?
Yeah, it looks like an Oncidium.
Oh, it's got
Oncidium type.
Is there a tag?
Yeah, let me see. By something. I don't have my glasses.
Oh.
Peggy Ruth is called. Morning Joe.
Oh, good. Oh, we got a tag. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, Kahoa, tell us what the heck you're going to do there, all right?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm inspecting the plant, looking for any kind of disease, some brown spots, old leaves that can lead to rot of the plant after I plant it. And see if any old pseudobulbs like this are viable or not. I don't think this one is that good because it's kind of old.
All right, well, talk a little bit about pseudobulb then. What is pseudobulb?
Okay, pseudobulb is a part of the orchid plant, some orchid plants, not all, that it forms in a stem and it retains moisture, and it usually happens in plants that are epiphytes because they need somewhere to retain water when there's no rain.
The pseudobulbs actually start out usually as leafed pieces of the orchid and then later lose the leaves and just remain bulbs, right?
Yeah, they're like stems and they thicken.
Yeah.
This is the old one. This is a newer one. This is what they start out as.
And that's your growth shoot.
Yeah, this is a new shoot, and it progresses to this, and ends up something like that.
Okay, well then to explain for people, why would you leave some of the old pseudobulbs?
As long as a pseudobulb is green, it is continually making food for the plant. I may take this away because it is starting to rot, and that rot can continue on the rest of the plant. So I'm just gonna go and snip it right off, like that. Now, as I look at this, I'm continually inspecting it. I'm gonna take off all these old stems and such, so that they don't cause any type of rot. And orchids can rot when they're too wet.
And in Mountain View, it can get too wet.
It can get too wet because of all the rain we get. So I'm cutting all the old leaf matter off. I think I want to separate this because this is a nice...
Yeah.
But if I plant it like this will stick out of the pot. So, boop, there we go.
There you go.
And clean this up a little bit. Okay, inspect this. See, this pseudobulb is nice because there's not too much blemishes on it. This is dry. It's not wet. And I think I can cut this bottom stem off. This one better. So, what I want to do is now put them in the pot and make sure that they don't grow towards each other, grow apart, but yet still keep them in the middle of the pot. Oh, here's a little baby one. This is still good. Okay. Inspect. Pseudobulb is good. This is the one I want. This one. So, since this is all the same thing, I'm going to keep it in the same pot and try and angle the plant so that it doesn't grow into itself. So I got a triangle right there.
So you're pointing the growing tips away from each other then, I assume?
Yes, because I mean they can climb on each other, but it's hard to take them apart when it's time to transplant them into a bigger one.
So what you using over there for media? I see you're putting something in the pot.
Yeah, right now this is some chip bark, and it's a fine grain. I usually work with much coarser stuff, but this is what we have to work with, so it'll break down a little faster because it's smaller. But it will do its job.
Well, I would say the main reasons that we have different grades of orchid bark, usually it's mostly like large, medium, and small barks, for instance. And the reason why is that if you have a very rainy climate, you're actually better using a large bark if it's outside.
If it's outside.
Because it's going to drain out a lot better. But also, in general, when I have orchids that have heavy roots, large diameter roots, I usually use large bark. When I have orchids that have finer diameter roots, I usually use the finer bark.
Right.
It seems that the finer roots adhere better in the finer bark particles. And
correct.
That orchid there is a medium to finer root, and so that's a good choice of bark for
it is. Well, yeah, we still got cats, so they got big roots.
Oh, they're coming. Yeah, they're coming.
Oh, let's see. Next one. Here's another candidate.
Okay.
Oh, where did I grab this one from?
I don't know.
Oh well, mystery.
Okay, so what kind of orchid is that? You think this? No,
it's one of.
That's the same kind.
Yeah, Oncidium type. So go through the same thing. Inspect. Sometimes they're not worth it, and you just throw them out because wasting material, and we don't want to do that. Oh, this looks pretty decent. I don't see any young things. This is a younger one.
I guess that's the growing tip right there.
Yeah, this would be the growing tip right here. Let's inspect that. Okay, I guess we could use this, and I don't see any new roots. But that's a potential. This is a young one right here, and here's a little root. So we can use that.
So there's not much roots on those. Does it look like somebody already trimmed at them, or do you think they rotted?
They may have rotted.
Yeah.
Because it's brown. Yeah.
Neglected.
Too many plants for too few people to take care of. You know. That happens when you're in a nursery.
So that's what happens when your orchids are too wet. The roots disappear.
Right. Now this one, I don't think it's worth it because the pseudobulb is shriveled up, starting to rot on the bottom. There's no new leaves on the top of the newest stem, so bye-bye.
Well, the reason the Kahoa is being so judgmental about this is we have thousands of these to transplant.
We can afford to.
That's right. There's just no way. You folks at home who are worried about that little piece of orchid you got there, well, you can go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah.
We aren't gonna. Got a whole bucket on the floor down here full of orchids that are reject.
Okay, this one's a little. Okay. Basically, because this one doesn't have any stems, I'm just going to put it in and stabilize it with the bark. Roots will eventually grow out. And I don't want this inside the pot because then it can cause some rot since the material is fine. Yeah, there's some potential roots there.
You got two leaves up top there that are still partially functional, but one thing I usually do when I see distressed foliage is
cut it off?
Yeah, the reason why is because that way I can tell in the future whether the plant's going forward or backwards. You know, if you leave it, you look at it and you go, I wonder, is this suffering? Or, no, it was previously suffering,
And leave on some green.
Yeah, it looks to me like that probably.
It's old.
Yeah.
But it's the newest bulb. So what we can do is hope that a baby will sprout from down.
Okay, well now as far as the growing point, maybe you could help describe to people what you want to do with the growing point and why.
Well, I want to put the growing point in the middle so that it has room to spread out. If I put it on the side, it'll climb right out of the pot.
There you go, yeah.
So I want to keep it in the middle so it stays in the pot a little longer.
That's it. That's a good reason why we transplant, is to keep moving the growing point back to the center of the containers.
Or it'll climb out of the pot.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Doesn't hurt him.
doesn't hurt them really.
Gets messy though.
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt the plant if it climbs out of the pot because they're epiphytes. And they can handle being out of soil because, well, they don't really grow in soil. They grow on the side of a tree or on a branch, maybe a rock, depending on the species. Okay, so, and there you go.
Good. Alrighty, so, well, we've done a couple oncidiums so far, but Kahoa's got a Cattleya here now. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, this is the Cattleya, or Cattleya type, and this is a pseudobulb. They like a little drier atmosphere. They really grow on the tops of trees, and so as you can see, these are the roots. They're nice, they're nice and thick, which is good, and some of them have some growing points. So this is the growing point area where the new stem will be. This is a little. This one died. But there are buds all along this edge here that could rejuvenate. So this does have hope because the roots are nice. It's just that I don't see any growing buds. But there are potential buds all along here.
Yeah, well, it's got roots and it's got leaves, so I'd say there's plenty of hope here.
Yeah, there's hope. Some orchids, they tend to look old.
All right.
So we have the new roots. They're pretty good looking. No new buds, but we'll see what happens. If it grows, it grows.
Doesn't look like there's any rotten roots to trim off either, huh? Pretty
No, well, I think I want to try and trim these.
Tiny little bit there, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
There. That's nice and clean. Put it in gently. Center it. Get my bark. I don't want to crush the roots, but I do want to keep them in there firmly.
And you want to try to get the bark to fall down between the roots rather than smash against the side of the pot or something.
Right.
Sometimes using a chopstick or something to work the bark in helps a bit.
Yeah, I have this little tongue depressor here.
Yeah. I have a tendency just to pound the pots on the table until the bark falls in.
I do the shake method too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Agitation.
There we go. Yeah, I don't want to ruin. Those are nice looking roots, so I really don't want to ruin them. Okay. Some people, sometimes they stake them, especially when they're like this.
Stabilize.
To stabilize.
Yeah.
I might want to do this with this one.
Well, there are some stakes, I guess, over there.
You can tell a well-used gardening shed. There's stuff everywhere you can use within hand distance.
I cleaned it up before I turned on the camera, man.
Okay, and we have a tag here.
Cool. So we know what it is, even.
We can
probably guess.
Yeah, you can guess. It was in the pot.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
Okay.
Let me see.
You looking for a stick?
Yeah.
There's these wire hoops here. Here's chopsticks there.
Yeah, the wires.
Yeah. Top heavy.
Yeah, top heavy.
There's twine.
I just do that.
Oh well, hey, that works.
It works.
He did good. Okay.
Here's the,
Okay, and that's a Cattleya.
That's Cattleya. And here we got Ellen. She's the boss of all of this situation here. She's the one who's in charge. And so, Ellen, tell us all about it.
Yeah, I'm the coordinator for this Orchid Isle project, and I want to say a big thank you to the people that have helped so far, the members. I appreciate it. If I start naming you, I'm going to forget somebody, so I'm not going to name any names other than, well, you saw Kahoa earlier on there, and Elizabeth, which is the daughter of one of our members. She called to help out this morning, which is really nice. And I'm just trying to get my hands on. We're real early in this project, but if anybody wants to weed and pot orchids and doesn't mind coming up to Mountain View, I can use your help. But mostly, I want to say thank you, because if it wasn't for Julie Getch, who started this project, we wouldn't be doing this, and I really appreciate her starting this project, and Transplanting Orchids for the donation of all these wonderful orchids that we will continue to beautify the Orchid Isle with. Mahalo.